how to make Nick a music star. So he sent you a sample of the music file about an hour ago. So I hope you got a chance to listen to that. So I'm just going to ask you, because obviously I'm familiar with both of you. I know you both pretty well now, but I'm going to ask both of you to introduce each other, and just basically, and we'll take it from there. So Nick, this is your project, your target. So why don't you give Steph a little insight on yourself and your desires and what you want her and our group to do for you. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly. Stephanie, thank you so much for taking the time here. Obviously, Dr. Yang, thank you for arranging this. I'm going to start by giving a little bit of a background about myself, and then what we've done with our music collective. So it goes back, I'm from Minnesota, kind of general normal suburban life there. Went to college at the University of Arizona, got my undergraduate degree, and then started working in brokerage in the freight industry, and then eventually made my way into the private equity lane in San Francisco, working with blockchain pre-IPO M&A, where I then, during the time being in San Francisco, I gravitated towards the arts and the music, and kind of the opportunities in the entertainment space. And there was a moment kind of for me business-wise when I was doing a lot of different research on pre-IPO, kind of up and starting technology companies in San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley. And I was surprised to see that there was only two privately held large music tech companies in the upper echelon per se of the unicorns. And, so I saw an opportunity at the very least, and I parlayed that into there was a business, an incubator that was working specifically in the hardware and software space as an incubator, providing the tools and resources for free and open collaboration, and then investing on the back end once there was products built and businesses built. And so what I did was on a scale of what with the amount of money I had to with accumulation of my own funds and some family and friends, was able to put together two locations that were one in San Francisco, one in Los Angeles area in the hills, for music and fine arts. And what we would do, we would provide, again, the tools for production, and then host events for networking, and also, selling products. Depending on the music side, is a little bit different, but of course, but we had two operations going. We were able to merge or work very closely with a number of universities, charitable organizations, reputable technology companies, really some great partnerships that we were able to bring on board for the team, right, in this incubation process, laying the foundation. And so that happened. And then so after that, so I ended up doing this process, meeting with a group that is now came to be the Hashtag Protocol, which is an open source one-to-one domain space marketplace and internet network. It's a really a powerful system that we have with the applications. Without getting technical upon it, the application of this to the music is extremely powerful. And then beyond, certainly with what me and Dr. Yang have been working on and bringing me up to speed on, really where his project is, is doing this, incorporating it the right way on large scale, and utilizing the musician to be, empower them as individuals. What we are about is data ownership and ownership of content, and pure functionality, seamless functionality. So we is a very main thing. With that being said, so that's kind of, this is where I'm at overall on just kind of the foundation of what brings me here. I'm a partner in Connects Technologies, which is the underlying network layer for this what I'm speaking upon. But now the kind of the beauty of it is there's many applications with a protocol and an operating system that can be leveraged and positioned correctly. So with the obviously with the music aspects and that being my particular talent, you know, I'm this is a great meeting. You know, these are my favorite ones. So,
Right, so Nick, how long you been a musician? Give a little bit of background on your music side of it, and obviously your desire to obviously break into this industry, which obviously is tied into the technology that you're bringing for the rest of the artists. But have a little bit say on your own personal experience as a musician and your talent and where you want your specific talent to go.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking that. So yeah, so as I said, kind of with that timeline, starting about 2018, when I got into the music industry on the production side, was as an executive producer and investor. You know, it was too hard not to want to be in there. And so I have since then I've really fine-tuned my engineering, my mixing abilities. The main thing that has provided the best for our label is that regardless of the microphone is always up, so we're always producing. You know, right now is a rare occasion because I'm here with my girlfriend, or normally this would be, you'd see that the studio would be decked out in the top gear, which is important because I was like, you know, if you're whatever city you're in, wherever. Anyways, but as far as me, you know, when I decided to start doing this music thing, I noticed that YouTube had you can type in any artist with a type beat at the back end of it, and you can do a song every day. So for the last 4 years, I've done at least, you know, on net 2-3 songs a day. Probably you know, come out at the end of that with at least a defined cadence that I can do whatever I want on a song. And I'm gotten to the point now where I'm, you know, I'm really I'm feeling the music, and so I'm positioned to have a partner in that is a composer, was at Sony Records, now is at Universe Records. That is I mean, one of the top, he was voted by ASCAP as #1 recording guitarist in the world in 2019.
Who's that?
Dave McGee. And so ideally what I am is I'm a storyteller and I'm a storyteller and a singer. And you know, and we also have I mean, yeah, that at the end of it, that's what I am. And I think so what my main purpose is, and I think if you listen to my music, what my separating factor is that every single time when I mix my music, it's much better. I like it that way. But at the end of the day, I think if you listen to the words and the content and the tempo, you know, I think I certainly have it's something. I'm trying to build the right team around this, basically.
Right.
You know, and what I think is, you know, the most important thing too, knowing how this works, and you know, not being some type of fraudulent player in the game, right? Like, I know my music. I want to when I say fraudulent player, I want to be. If any artist I work with, I want them to want to work with me. If not, I can't do it. I don't want to do any type of like collaboration where there's not a you know, an overall vision. And because at the end of the day, I feel I've holding the position that we're in on the technology side, and with what the overall mission is, and not to let myself well, I'm just rambling, guys. I don't know. The best
you have a deep message, Nick. I know why you come, because Nick is very passionate like myself, and sometimes the passion goes through. But I've listened to some of your songs. It's very thoughtful. The message is very powerful, and that's what he wants to help deliver, this powerful message through, obviously, in this case, the music medium. And my message I want to deliver through a movie, and that's one of the projects I'm talking with the LA producer right now.
So let's bring it back from
Yeah.
take it away from my music. My music is great. I have a word. I'm one domain space, right?
Yeah.
So that's all it is. At the end of the day, our operating system is your one main core domain, and then how you distribute from there. That's all it is. And also, so that being equatable to on a national level, the two ends of the spectrum. And right now, I mean, after this, I'm about to go meet with we have the Zimbabwean presidential gala on Tuesday. I'm going to meet with their group regarding our technology as well about this integration. A democratic internet is what it is, and so this is what this layer of music is one implementation of this across.
All right. Well, thank you.
So, yeah. So that's what I want to focus on that. And what I would really appreciate, I'm not sure, I want to pass it to you guys and hear a little bit more about what you guys do on the music side specifically, and what we can do, on as far as we're open right now. Right now we're open to any, we can make deals at the moment. Universal, Republic, Sony, Epic, everything's on the table at the moment. We'd be happy to, work something out either way. And, it just depends on who's at the end of the day, who's gonna, really run with this initiative.
All right. Thanks, Nick. So now we're going to let Stephanie talk a bit about herself and her experience in the music industry and what she's capable of bringing on board. So Stephanie, I want to thank Andrew for joining us as well. But Stephanie, over to you. The platform's yours. Thank you.
Thank you. So, hi, Nick. My name's Stephanie Young. In the industry, people know me as Warrior Goddess. So that's me. I have some questions for you. I myself work with the largest producers on the planet, quite literally. My personal manager works with all of the majors, works with Lady Gaga's manager, so I have some specific questions. If I might ask, when you're discussing the technology,
well, Stephanie, before you ask the question, obviously, give a little bit more background, obviously, on your connect. I mean, I know your son is very, very into music industry and obviously with the Wu-Tang. So specifically, give Nick a little bit outline regarding your work with your son and with the Wu-Tang client and the music stuff, and then we'll have a little bit of Q&A on both sides. Okay. So just give a little bit more background on yourself and specifically focus on the entertainment and the music side of things. Thanks, Stephanie.
Sure. Okay, so I came into the music industry via beauty. I've been involved in the beauty industry for 30 years, and art. So I came in via art as my vehicle, and I started doing things like I did the Manhattan Metropolitan Opera documentary for their lead tenor. I did music videos for the Jungle Brothers, and my son showed a talent as a slap poet, and from that point at 13, I got him into the studio, and by 15, he was performing the Graffiti Hall of Fame with the Large Professor who produced Nas's Illmatic. Mm-hmm. So my son has performed all of hip hop's grandest events. My closest confidant and mentor for my son is James Top. He's in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. He runs the Graffiti Hall of Fame for 40 years. From then, I worked with Iron Sheik from Protect Your Neck Records, that's Wu-Tang, for 6 years in developing a Wu-Tang mini-series about Black Shaolin monks. I have worked with loads and loads of new famous as well as pioneers. So all my connections are with absolutely the highest level in hip hop, and then beyond hip hop into trip hop, atmospheric, EDM. I'm close friends with some of the most famous DJs in the world, the visual artists. So my talents are creating teams. I'm a connectivity. So my business is Source of Energy, SourceX Energy. So what we do is connect people and create a team and move forward to bring beautiful things. So
Yeah,
I've only been in
that's why.
Florida.
Yeah,
Excuse
and
me?
that's why Stephanie is such an important part of the team for obviously our Ukosi Academy, which is obviously the South African entity, which is the filmmaking and music school that we intend to establish here in the US based on the model that was so successfully done by Nonku, the award-winning filmmaker. She's also very heavily connected to African music scene as well. So our connectivity is not just for the US. And obviously, as I mentioned to you, even for this $1 billion pay-per-view, which Stephanie's in charge of because of her great connection to the music industry, especially the Wu-Tang, because the Wu-Tang is going to be the key player at the billion pay-per-view, but also because of my connection in China, where rap, in fact, rap is probably even bigger in China if you go by sheer quantity. And the number of people that listen to rap and pay for rap is probably bigger in China than it is in
We want to connect that.
And not just that, but for me, not just hip hop, but I do have a very deep connection to reggae. Sizzla Kalonji, Cuddy Ranks, Metric Man, you know, so and also drum and bass, EDM. So I did listen. I got one MP3 that I did listen to. I have questions about it.
Before you ask your question, Stephanie, because
Yeah.
I'm not really a music guy, I apologize. But Chris, how do you think your music fits in? Is it house, rap, soul? I sort of described to Stephanie that you're sort of very soulful composer, more like a cross between what's the guy?
So Bob Dylan,
Yeah, you're like a Bob Dylan rapper.
Bob Dylan. So like Bob Dylan, Dave Matthews, with a little bit of new age. But right now what I'm doing, for example, again with I think I've certainly checked off one of the boxes with Dave McGee at Universe Records. Kind of a unique situation there. I can speak freely upon this and music industry wise, but he just recently got out of his composer's contract with Sony, or with Epic rather, and so now is free and is building his label. One of these kind of key partners on the music side, and then also on what will be on the technology, of course. So if we kind of just loop these in together, taking this on a global world tour, right? Me just being one of the players. And by the way, the whole idea when I was speaking upon earlier about when we had the two locations in San Francisco and LA, and then allowed people, what we did was it was just phone numbers, get people to know always to call paid, professionally, always independently different. And, and we, all it takes is a duffel bag to record a song anywhere in the world with any producer on the other end of it. I mean, this was new. 10 years ago, you couldn't do that with YouTube, but now you can. And, and it's a uniquely powerful thing on a network layer. With that being said is, I'm sitting here right now as we were kind of listening through this, and, with my music, where I come to play, again, I'm from the Midwest, Chicago suburbs. I'm also 32, so I'm a little bit older. I've had experience in finance. I like, I like going on the lake and drinking beers with, a good girl, and going to, it's just like, that's what I can talk about, and family stuff, I mean, where my life is going right now is not going to be about, I want to be a positive person,
Right.
and live and speak what is happening.
So anyway, Stephanie, you have some questions.
There's also I just want to say there's also other with Under the Paid Collective, other very, very talented artists that have different, circumstances, et cetera, different geographical areas around the world, but are, are also, a part of this whole paid equity partners. We're all partners in the underlying technology, and I'm here just carrying the torch at the moment on this
All right.
particular layer. And but yeah, I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea, though, what kind of just the generation of what this was and how we got here, and on the technology side as well. Partners. It seems to be fitting really well here now. So,
All right.
and I, but yeah, again,
Well,
I'm
let's
one player on the
Stephanie-
team, so
I think
that's-
Stephanie's got some question, Nick, for you. So Stephanie, fire away.
Yes, and very seriously. Separating the layers.
yeah,
I need to talk about music.
yes,
That's my area. So the track that I listened to, because I was only sent one, I had hoped to have a little bit more yesterday so that I was prepared with some ideas exactly what to do with you and what I would do. So I have some questions. Did you create the beat on the track?
no,
Okay. Who was the beat creator?
it's I own it off of YouTube, so that's how you.
So it's a free beat on YouTube.
Yeah, generally speaking, I mean, so I have over 6,000 songs, right? I mean, I can send you my whole library, but you probably don't want to hear all of them.
No,
Yeah.
I would like you to pick 10 tracks
Yeah,
that are the best of your tracks
yeah,
that are and that also have genre differences.
yeah,
Okay. And I would so I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna have to look through the YouTube stuff, because while it's free for you, you don't own it.
yeah.
So you can't make money on that.
Absolutely. And so right now, what I've just been doing is, if you look at it from, if you're a basketball player, right? So I started playing this game in 2018. And what I've been doing, I said, all right, 10,000 hours, right? You got to put your time in, you got to get the cadence, you got to be able to, you got to hone your craft. And so that's what I've been doing. So I've accumulated overall, and that's the nice thing that YouTube has provided also. And for me,
Great practice.
practice. And so,
Absolutely.
and so that's where, and then so out of the accumulated of just precision on doing that, no matter what,
Okay.
I certainly have I probably have like 70 songs that are mine outright, or maybe that's a little bit of a stretch. Like 50 songs that are mine outright, but
So
anyway.
wait, yours outright, meaning you created the mechanicals are yours, then the authoring is yours. So
So
you'll
the way-
be able to own, let me finish. You'll be able to own both sides. Is that what you're telling me? You created the beats as well. They're yours.
As far as on songs go, I probably have 10 that I would like that are owned by me, or 15 that I like that are
Did
owned by
you
me.
create, but
Yeah.
I still need to
Yeah.
get this answer.
Yeah.
Did you create the beats, or do you lease them? Do you own them exclusively?
What I do is you get a free type beat, and then once you want to bring it to market, so I have a catalog of songs, right? So each one of them, I go and then I would pay a fee for them. Each one of them, I buy the beat. So that's how,
Right.
yeah.
So
I have
have
like a
you
cost.
gone and licensed those beats
No.
already?
No, and I haven't done anything with my music.
Okay.
That's the thing. I really have.
Okay, that's fine. I just need to know where we are right now.
Yeah. No,
You've done a
I'm
lot
really,
of work. You've put
Yeah.
a lot of time in.
Yeah.
But this is the interesting, horrible experience we have, unfortunately, today in the industry is these, as good as it is, it's created a deficit of payment for artists.
Yeah.
So we have to work on, and that's, I do have some questions about the technology.
Yes.
And because you said about data ownership.
Yeah.
So is that going to be the wholly ownership to the artisan?
Yeah, so what we do is if you imagine if you imagine the file upload that takes place on YouTube, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a again a general file upload for streaming application. That is then streamed on a server-based company, which is YouTube, Google. What ours is, and it's a little bit more. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's more technical. The adoption is going to take a little bit of time here, right? But it's built off of GitHub. So GitHub is the largest open source repository in the world. IPFS, Interplanetary File System, is the top of line elite. We built it through what is the hashtag protocol. So we integrated the HTTPS, the Internet 1.0, with the social functionality of what is the pound sign. And the pound sign does have more of a deeper history than we all think of it right now as just the hashtag, but certainly encompassing that. The kicker being what our main thing, what we are doing, and why we're so heavy on the ownership of the content is the layer of the dollars of the payment processing. So with the capacity to have, if you just imagine when people are spending time using your videos, that can be clocked, it can be clocked.
Correct.
And it can
Correct.
go, I mean, and you can be integrated. I mean, we have barely even scraped the surface on the
Sure.
interaction of the screen of a song, come on, what is the main thing in music business? Music and then, if you imagine, just to kind of paint a picture for you, this convergence and the way we built it again on for developers to build upon, right? The sandbox is built to be built upon. We're going to get a lot of really great collaboration on that technology side and on the creator side. Again, with the main layer being the currency. And so, and that's why, we're working with Dr. Yin on his projects, he's got a lot going on, so it's hard to wrap my head around it all, but anyways, that's where we come.
Right, so that's why I say, I need to talk about the music,
So the music.
So I do understand the technologies to a certain degree. My brother is actually David E. Young. He just retired as Verizon's vice president of public policy. So he created most of these technologies.
Great.
All right. Nick and Stephanie, I'm just sorry to apologize to interrupt. I think I love listening to you both, by the way. But I think we're going too much into weed right now. Okay. So we're sort of sidetracking what the topic of this mission goal is. How to make Nick into a music superstar, okay?
Right. So I'm going to go back
on
to
that
my
key
question.
premise, okay? We don't need to go into the details right now, other than let's put together a package. Now, the mechanics of, the recording, I can get you recording studios here, a band and whatever, so we don't need to detail what we'll create our own composition. Okay, so that is the mission goal. So this is a great introduction. So this is more of what I wanted to do, is to Nick to see Stephanie and for Stephanie to see Nick. And obviously I asked Andrea because she's my partner. She's also a music and a film producer as well. And she's very closely connected to the Kleistarlings. I asked her just to join and listening in, okay? So I don't want to go into the weed and the mechanics right now, okay? Our focus is still, how do we make Nick into a music superstar,
Right.
okay? And the mechanics of it, we can go forward. This is just an introduction. So you got a sample. So Nick, what I asked you to do, and Stephanie said is, if you could select 5 to 10 more of your video samples for her, don't worry about, the license. No, don't worry about the detail, just the 5, 10, so she can have focus on your genre, what you're best at, so she knows exactly where she can fit in, because I said she's connected to a lot of.
Stephanie,
okay, so just send a few more samples to Stephanie. Stephanie will talk to her producers, her Iron producers, Iron Sheik. So when she knows exactly where you fit in, are you a rapper? Are you a soul? Are you a thing? She'll speak to the appropriate partner of hers, and then she will put in the package with her partner saying, yeah, we can make you a major superstar. And this is what we need to do, A, B, C. Then we go into weed. Then we go into detail. how to do it, how we get paid, all that. We don't need to cover this. I only meant this just for an introduction, which is a great introduction, okay? So anyway, before I cut, Andrea, anything you want to comment on?
Well, it's great to listen to Stephanie. It's very nice to see you again, by the way. And Nick, it's finally to see you on Zoom, finally. It's nice to meet you. And well, I just love to listen into these conversations, and thank you, Don Torgio, for letting me to be in and participate. I'm very much on the film producing, but I'm also very interested in the film production too, since my brother is a songwriter. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you for letting me listen in.
Thank you. And you already know, because I already sent you info on where Nick fits in with the Clystar overall spheres, right? So again, I don't want to, because that's at a much higher level, and I don't want to complex that, but we're all integrated into this divine sphere, this matrix. We're literally creating the real matrix together, okay? So this is only a small part of the matrix, an important part, don't get me wrong, very, very important part, because music is the very soul and the heart of humanity. So it's a very important part, okay? So for Stephanie, you want to say something before I close this?
Yes. It's such an important part, because as sound, changes, our throat chakra, we bring sound, which is vibrational energy, mathematics, changes our physiology and reality. So music is very important. Sound from your throat is transformative, light energy.
And I think it's so extremely. And the funny thing is that Donald Trump ended up using the platform of large events to win the White House. And if you could imagine in 2027, Coachella being the largest campaign event ever in history via the Independent Party. And because that's a wave, and I mean that, and we've seen this take place historically in many different times, right? And that's the ultimate goal, I will say, making that ultra, making these campaign events. And anyway, so that's just
I agree with you. Making Nick a superstar is just one step. It is not the final step.
I'll integrate well. I'm the good boy from Minnesota as a white rapper,
right? But it's an important step. Okay. So Nick, Stephanie, I thank you for the time. I think this has been a great intro for both of you to see each other, and thanks Andrea for that. Okay. So Nick, so I'm going to send you guys the recording of this. So Nick, I want you to get 5 to 10 of your samples over to Stephanie, and Stephanie, I want you to listen to it, know where Nick is coming from on the music side, and then speak to the appropriate partner that you feel is a perfect fit for Nick to make what this topic is about, to make Nick a superstar. Going beyond that, we have other things, but that is the focus I want to make Nick a music superstar. Okay, so God bless you. Thanks again, Nick. I'll hopefully catch up with you while you're here in town. Okay, Stephanie, much love and peace to you. All right, take good care of yourself. And Andrea, likewise, I'll see you in Europe. All right, God bless you all. All right, thank you again, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.